what you wear that turns old money away. Decades of quiet refinement have taught one simple truth: true wealth doesn't speak, it's understood. Yet, in today's world of trends and fast fashion, many confuse attention with admiration. You might not realize how certain choices quietly distance you from the grace you admire. Together, we'll uncover the difference between presence and pretense, and by the end, you'll see clothing as a reflection of quiet confidence, not loud ambition. Sign 1. Loud fabrics that speak before you do. There's a certain kind of fabric that enters the room before you do. Bold metallics, oversized prints, or neon tones often draw every eye, but not always for the right reason. They can create noise around you, drowning out the quiet strength of your presence. It's not that color or pattern is wrong. It's that when the fabric shouts, it often masks the very confidence you want to express. Old money style understands restraint as power. A soft cashmere sweater, a linen blend blazer, or silk with a matte finish, these aren't plain choices. They're purposeful. They hold texture, depth, and quiet luxury. Such fabrics invite people to focus on you, not your outfit. They allow your tone, your words, your energy to fill the space instead of being overpowered by what you're wearing. Think about a dinner party or a professional event. The person who stands out most isn't always the one in glitter or bold logos, but the one whose clothing seems to belong to them so naturally that you almost don't notice it. You feel their presence before you register the details of what they wear. Excess, in any form, can sometimes be a cover for insecurity. And that's where our next sign quietly reveals itself: how doing too much can save far less than you intend. Sign 2. The insecurity hidden in over-accessorizing jewelry is meant to tell a story, not to shout over it. When rings crowd every finger, necklaces layer without reason, or earrings compete for attention, it often signals something deeper: a quiet search for validation through sparkle. Fashion psychologists from the London College of Fashion suggest that restraint in style is frequently associated with higher self-assurance. In other words, people who feel secure rarely feel the need to over-decorate. True refinement values intention over quantity. One beautifully chosen piece, a gold band, a delicate pearl stud, a vintage brooch, can hold more presence than a handful of trendy ornaments. It's the same principle seen in old money circles. Confidence doesn't need an announcement, it simply exists. When adornments multiply, balance fades. The eye no longer rests on you. It wanders from shine to shine, unsure of where to land. But when every detail supports your presence instead of competing with it, elegance returns. Instead of layering jewelry, consider layering texture. Soft leather with brushed gold, silk with subtle gemstones. Choose pieces that mean something: a gift from someone you love, or something you bought to mark a personal victory. Those items hold warmth that no diamond cluster can replace. As you begin to edit what you wear, you'll notice something powerful. True coordination isn't just visual, it's emotional. And that's where perception begins to take shape. Sign 3. When color coordination looks too curated to feel real. There's a fine line between polished and performed. When every shade in your outfit matches perfectly, down to your shoes, bag, and nail, it can start to feel less like style and more like strategy. The over-curated look often whispers of seeking approval rather than expressing authenticity. Old money elegance doesn't chase precision, it lives in balance. Think of muted tones that complement rather than copy each other. Soft cream with olive, navy with sand, charcoal with blush. These combinations feel lived in, approachable, and quietly intelligent. The goal isn't to look arranged, it's to look at ease with yourself. True sophistication welcomes a touch of imperfection, a slightly rumpled sleeve, a scarf that doesn't perfectly match but feels right. These subtle mismatches breathe humanity into your style, suggesting depth instead of display. Fashion historians often note that aristocratic dressing developed from a lifestyle of continuity, clothes chosen for quality, not coordination. You can practice this by focusing on harmony over uniformity. Instead of matching colors, think in tones and textures. Let them speak to each other naturally. When your look feels effortless, people sense comfort, not calculation. Because the real magnetism isn't in perfection, it's in authenticity. And that authenticity carries an emotional energy that draws others in before you even say a word. Sign 4. The emotional energy your clothes carry from purchase to wear. Every item in your wardrobe tells a story about the moment you chose it. Clothes bought in a rush or under pressure to follow a trend often carry the emotional residue of that decision, restlessness, comparison, or a quiet wish to fit in. Over time, that energy lingers, creating a subtle dissonance between how you look and who you truly are. Research published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology shows that people form emotional attachments to clothing that reflect their identity, not just their appearance. When what you wear aligns with your personal story, it doesn't just look better, it feels grounded. You walk differently, you speak with more ease. Because the intention behind your choice is clean. Mindful dressing is not about minimalism, it's about meaning. It's asking yourself, does this reflect the calm, capable, centered woman I am becoming? When your wardrobe begins to answer yes, your clothing starts working for you, not against you. This isn't only about fashion, it's about self-respect. When your choices come from clarity instead of impulse, they carry calmness and quiet strength. And sometimes, the challenge isn't in what we wear at all, it's in what we're trying to signal through it. That's where the next sign begins to unfold. Sign 5. Branding as a substitute for belonging. A logo can say many things, but confidence is rarely one of them. When symbols of status become the centerpiece of an outfit, they often reveal aspiration rather than assurance. It's an attempt to say, I belong, without realizing that true belonging is never something you can buy. Old money style understands this deeply. In those circles, visible branding feels unnecessary, even out of place, because identity isn't proven through labels. It's expressed through presence, behavior, and quiet taste. A beautifully tailored coat with no name on it carries more weight than one plastered with designer logos. Its worth is in the stitching, the fabric, the way it falls effortlessly into place. When you prioritize craftsmanship over visibility, your clothing starts to reflect depth rather than display. It whispers quality to those who recognize it and offers comfort to you, the one wearing it. Fit, texture, and how a garment moves with your body matter far more than any emblem could. The truth is, dressing for recognition can slowly separate you from your authentic self. Because each time you seek validation through a brand, you give away a little of your quiet confidence. And as we move forward, you'll see how true refinement begins not in the label, but in how your clothes are shaped to honor your comfort and individuality. Sign 6. Over-tailoring that removes natural ease. There's a quiet difference between clothes that fit and clothes that cling. When tailoring becomes so precise that it stiffens your posture or limits your breath, elegance begins to feel like armor instead of expression. Perfection, in this sense, can suffocate presence. True sophistication lives where structure meets softness. Old money tailoring honors this balance beautifully. It's designed for movement, not performance. A blazer may contour your frame, but it should still allow your shoulders to relax. Trousers should fall naturally, never pull when you sit. The goal is to look refined, not restrained. Think of the contrast between a softly tailored blazer that drapes effortlessly and one that feels vacuum sealed to the body. The first invites comfort and authenticity. The second demands constant adjustment. When your clothes work with you, not against you, they communicate quiet assurance. Elegance has never been about tightness. It's about flow. When your outfit allows you to move, laugh, and breathe easily, people sense ease around you. And emotional comfort follows physical comfort. The two are inseparable. When clothing fits your life, not just your body, it becomes a reflection of genuine confidence. And that brings us to the final, most sensory sign of all, the subtle but powerful language your fabrics speak without a single word. Sign 7. Fabric noise. When shine, pattern, or texture demand attention. Not all distractions are loud in sound. Some are visual. Fabric noise happens when materials compete instead of converse. Too much shine, heavy embroidery, or clashing textures can pull focus away from your presence, making the outfit louder than your essence. Even the finest fabrics lose grace when they demand attention rather than complement it. Old money style thrives on quiet contrast, the kind that lets the eye rest. Matte silk, soft wool, brushed cotton, or a refined weave all carry depth without shouting. They create space for your movement and your mood to be seen. When textures blend naturally, they give off calm sophistication, the visual equivalent of a confident pause. You can keep interest alive by choosing one expressive texture and letting the rest support it. A tweed jacket can sing beautifully beside a smooth blouse. Velvet pairs best with muted tones, while satin feels more dignified when grounded by matte fabrics. The art is not in removing detail, but in allowing one element to lead, while the others harmonize quietly in the background. Restraint isn't dullness, it's clarity. It lets you stand in your clothing instead of behind it. When fabric reflects composure, it sends an unspoken message of assurance and peace. And as you'll soon see, this sense of calm presence extends far beyond appearance. It reaches into something more magnetic and personal, the invisible signal your energy sends before you speak. Bonus point. The aura of consistency. When your style speaks your values, true elegance doesn't visit, it lives with you. The women whose presence feels timeless rarely chase reinvention. They evolve. In old money circles, style is not about changing with the season, but refining through the years. Every choice, each fabric, color, and silhouette echoes a quiet understanding of self. When your wardrobe aligns with who you are, it becomes less about fashion and more about identity. You begin to reach for what feels natural, not what's trending. This kind of consistency builds depth. It signals calm assurance, the kind that says, I know who I am and I choose to express it with intention. Consistency doesn't limit creativity, it gives it roots. It creates a visual language of trust. Others sense your steadiness before they even speak to you. And in a world that's always shifting, that steadiness feels magnetic. Thank you for staying until the end and for being part of a space where growth, grace, and intention still matter. Your presence here adds meaning to the conversation about refinement that begins not in clothes, but in character. If you're still with me, comment "Quiet speaks loudest." It's our little signal of shared understanding. Every comment, like, and subscription helps this circle of thoughtful women grow, a place where style is simply another form of self-respect. If this video stirred something thoughtful in you, give it a like and share it with someone who's finding their own rhythm of refined confidence. Thank you for spending your time and trust here. It truly means a lot. Subscribe for daily reflections on elegance, confidence, and emotional depth. Another video is waiting right here to continue this journey. Take care of yourself, stay grounded in grace, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.